Greetings and welcome to City Tales Medieval Era, a new upcoming city builder that focuses on creative city building from small villages to flourishing kingdoms. No rigid grids, but organic growth of districts and streets that you draw with innovative urban planning tools. Balance resources, forge bonds with the unique companion system, and manage your finances. This is a sponsored video by Irregular Shapes, and City Tales is set to launch into early access in 2025 and takes part in the upcoming Steam Next Fest, so don't forget to check out the link in the video description to wishlist it right away. Alrighty, so let's begin with the development of a new town in this game. In the center we have the town center in all its glory, and beautiful, isn't it? What a fine day for starting a city. The first thing, as always, is to get some basic materials in. That is wood as my very first source. So woodcutter cabin it is. It's actually producing two things for me, but we are going to have a look at that in a second. First of all, let's just place our woodcutter camp somewhere here. There's lots of forests, way more than what it can handle. So this is being placed now, just fine, and after a while, it'll be finished. Construction is pretty detailed. I love this. So step by step, once again, we're building foundations. As you can see, there's also property appearing around this. This is one of the unique features in this game that we're exploring more and more as we progress. Now those trees won't fell themselves, so now we need to add a companion to it. Now what is that? That is kind of like someone that is working for us, and these are very unique, right? So these are characters, real characters that are gaining experience points. They're leveling up, getting more proficient at what they're doing, and they're limited. That's also important to know, so I can't have them endlessly. So I need to be very careful who I'm assigning when and to what, and also if I'm reassigning them, that they have the same kind of professions. Like we have the gatherers, we have the crafters and stuff like that. So that's gonna be pretty important. This woodcutter camp is now producing wood and also foliage for us. Super important that is, because we're going to need foliage for quite a few thingies down the road. Just look at how beautiful the game is. Got a little river over there. Fantastic. And yeah, here the woodcutter is now working and producing those things for us. Next in line right away is shelter, right? We want to have a place to live, and as you can see, we don't have a building per se, but we can build those shelters by outlining those areas here. So let's go ahead, and I'm just clicking somewhere, right? And we can then immediately start outlining a city district for us. So we're just going to have this very first one, trying to not make it too large, and I'm also trying to make it possible so that we have streets left and right. This is going to cost me 14 wood and 14 foliage, and it's going to have 7 tiles in it. Let's place it. And with that, we can go ahead now, and the first people are gonna move in and build their shelter. Also, this is unique. There is no road system, right? So the roads are being built automatically, like in Foundation, for example, like in the Settlers. So we don't have to build them ourselves. All right, so we've built that. The first settlers are moving in, and now we're also getting some money out of taxation. Thank you very much for this. Also getting some nice quests here to follow the mechanics of the game. And as we can see, people are moving now into their tiles here. This also has something unique right away. So you have the normal people here living in shelters. They have now their demands that we need to meet if what we want to upgrade them. However, we also need to place service buildings into that and processing buildings, like a lumber mill, for example. I cannot place the lumber mill outside. I need to place it in one of those districts. So to me, it makes a bit of sense to have my own district, some over here, that will have then some processing industry, because I don't want to have a lumber mill or a sawmill beside my residential area, right? That would just not look good. Let's go ahead. Even though, someone is already building something here. So let's be quick about it and place a sawmill right there. Also, we have taken care of the basics now. I shall establish my office in the village hall and start working on finding new ways to assist you. Thank you very much. So there's the lumber mill now coming along. Beside that, we could also start with the weaving workshop. We're producing a lot of these fibers already, and out of that we can make ropes. So let's go ahead. This one also costs me money, by the way. 3 coin. After a while, both of them are finished, and we need to assign, well, once again, companions to this. To Judith, you're going for the lumber mill. Oh, wait a second. Let's have Judith here in the weaving workshop, so we can just reassign them. And let's have Alberic in the lumber mill. They're processing now our raw materials into more refined materials. Now, after a while, the first planks are in and also the first ropes. So we can build now a few more advanced buildings. That would be a gatherer cabin. This one produces berries, because don't forget, when we look at the shelter here, we still need to provide berries, fish, and venison to those people if we want to upgrade them to the next level. This adds them more taxation and also more population in general. Let's go ahead. Gatherer cabin. We can also see right away how many berries we have close by. So out here we got a few berry bushes. Over here we got a few. Yeah, let's have a few over here. A pretty big building. Would be fine. And a hunter cabin. So to check it out once again, I think over here, yeah, 7 deer. Go ahead and get this one done. In order for us to have more people, let's continue with another city block. I'm gonna have this one all around here. Let's make sure that we keep a bit of a space here, right? And bear in mind, this is a very early alpha version, right? So there is lots of adjustments still happening, of course. Also balancing and also, of course, building these districts here. But it's already pretty intuitive, I think. Let's go ahead. This is 9 tiles. And there's also room in here for a road. You always need to calculate this in. As we can see, there's roads appearing now. So wherever there is traffic, like here, you have roads. Now, gatherer cabin, let's assign. We have Isabel. We don't have that many more companions. And over here, we have the hunter with Ike.
Certainly.
Now, let's continue with our development. Over here, we have the shelter, right? And as we can see, not every shelter needs the same materials. So some of them need fish, like this one here. The big ones. The smaller ones don't need that. So these guys here, we could already upgrade. There's, however, still something missing. And that's a well and a marketplace. So we do need a district where we can have service buildings that we provide for my population. So in that case, I would like to start with another district again, or another, yeah, one of these here, that we have a bit central, right? So that we have the ability to place service buildings in them. So this would be one of them. There's 6 possible tiles in here. And this district then is providing services to its range. We could also make it so that I have it here. Always keep a bit of a space there for the roads. There you go. I think this is safer, because with that, we can have another district here, here, and so on. Okay, remember that cabin you had me work in? Well, I've made a few adjustments to it. You're gonna like them. I see you're enthusiastic as ever, Misha. So what are these adjustments you speak of? Okay. Small improvements. We're way past that. He took the time to train an apprentice. Well, I thought it would save us time. He's a very motivated young lad, I must say. I barely had to teach him anything. He seems very smart indeed. My liege, this building is now autonomous. You can allow Misha to continue upgrading it, or, should you wish, assign their invaluable skills to another task. Even though Misha is too modest to admit it, I'm certain they've learned a lot from their experience. That's pretty neat, right? So they can still, of course, continue now with learning that skill. But if I unassign him here, this building continues to work then on its own. So we don't need to have Misha working that building anymore. Alright, this one's there. Let's continue with the well that I would like to have now. And as you can see, when I finish this, let's wait it out. And you know what? While we're in the process of waiting, let's also have another bullet district here that we can add, so that we can have more people than also in my city. Okay, so water as we have now as an infrastructure. Now that's new. When I click on the district, right, we can now see a radius around it. So this is how the service buildings are affecting the surrounding area. And we can also see this here and here, for example. So we gotta make sure that these districts have the right service building. So the well is the first one. There it is in all its glory. Of course, this is only a level 1 well. Next in line, we should also add a trading plaza to this. I'm gonna have the same area. There it is. And with that, we also will have now even more people being affected by the service area that we have. A chapel is also something we could provide. So let's also have this one here. Oh, we already have 2 civil buildings here. You can't have this so often. All right, let's go with this one. There it is. And what we can see, the first shelters would like to upgrade now. Gotta say, these buildings look fantastic. So these are all the basic versions. And we can also see that more roads appear around it. Let's continue with the upgrading. Shelter 1 has got everything. Oh, there's also my church now. Yeah, let's call it a chapel. It's a small one. And then let's upgrade this one here to a level 2 house. Gonna take some time. 5 we need to upgrade before we can properly continue. So let's just do this for these 4. And yeah, 5. And there they are, looking a bit more sophisticated now than their counterpart, the smaller version. And we can continue now with, yeah, the next production, because those houses have a few more needs now. They would like to have some health building. They would like to have a bigger marketplace. Stone, porridge, and tiles we need to provide in top of that. 165 residents we have so far. Growth is there. And we continue with a stone quarry. This one we need to have close to a mountainside, close to where there's stone. Down here we have stone. There you go. So I can have, yeah, 400. Looks lovely. By the way, if we build those here, of course, we're getting rid of the trees. We gotta make sure that the woodcutter cabin always has room. If we want to move it, there's a simple button for that, like this. And we can just move it where there's more wood. Now, we'll also need some fish. So let's have the close by river that we can use with a fishing cabin to provide another source of food. Okay, there it is. And I would like to reassign now Misha to this stone quarry. And as you can see, as this building has reached its proficiency, it's working without a companion, so we don't need to have them assigned everywhere. Okay, the fisher cabin. We still have one more companion, Rowena. There she goes. And with that, we get another source of food in. You can also just cycle through that when you hover over the food. So I guess this is proteins. There's then the venison, the fish, and the milk down the road. My advisor demands a tilery to prepare for bad weather. And we need to serve now porridges. Now for porridge, we do need a tavern. This would be another step now. This is then a provision, more or less, or is it a service building? I don't think it's a service building per se, right? We don't need that. We do need entertainment. That's the performance stage. And we do need, yeah, a pharmacy. There it is for the health one. So this one is just a production building, the rustic tavern, that is producing porridge. It needs milk and wheat. Where do we get that? Now we have the wheat farm and the cattle farm. And luckily the game has overlays. So up here we can have a look at them. We can see the fertility, for example, for wheat. It's the green area. And the red one, you probably should not have it here. And when we look at that, luckily the livestock fertility is just the other way around. Right? So here would be a perfect spot for wheat and here for the livestock. Let's go ahead and do this. If we build something like a wheat farm, for example, you can also see the fertility for the corresponding building, right? So that's pretty neat. Let's have it a bit further outside. It's a farm after all. It's quite costly too. 9 planks, fiber, stone, and money. There you go. Our first wheat farm. And let's do the same thing with a cattle farm. And I just gotta say, I always enjoy a city builder that doesn't have me place every single building and every single road tile myself, right? It's a lot of you placing districts. I love this because this wheat farm here is also just a district of wheat farm, right? It has its own tiles then where that are working, as you can see, that we can also then specialize further. Now let's go ahead and have the cattle farm on the other side, right over here. Leave a bit of room. Cattle farms have a minimum size as well that you need to, and this one costs berries and a bit of money. Okay, cattle farm, wheat farm. Let's have a look what building has proficiency. The hunter would be ready for it. Yeah, the hunter. Hunter we can have. Let's just check it out. There it is. Ike, certainly. You're now working the wheat farm. A beautiful building. Over here. Perfect. How's it looking, by the way, with those buildings here? Like my weaving workshop, that will also work now without a companion. Okay, there is also my cattle farm. And we just had it. There's the ropery, right? Judith, she's doing it. He's level 1 on farming. So basically no one of them has any farming proficiency right now. So that's also something you should take into account when you assign them, right? So Ike is training on farming right now. And Judith is doing the same thing now for the cattles. Nice. Next in line, let's check it out again. The Weaver workshop here is producing. Continues with that. So that we have this production ongoing. Even though we have 157 ropes, that's quite a bit anyway. And with that, let's have the rustic tavern. Yeah, let's have this one in the city center somewhere, right? Okay, it was placed over there now. It's still a district in the center. And by the way, if we want to continue with the growth, let's also add another district here. I don't think there's a limit to the amount of waypoints you can set. But we cannot have it like this. So you definitely need to have a connection like this. What is it doing with this tile here? This would be interesting. Let's place it. There's the road. There's my new tile. And now we have this one here providing then the beer. Let's assign someone to that. Misha, you are ready again. He's very good with gathering, right? I wonder what this is now. Probably processing of goods. We'll just see. So, Misha, there you are.
Certainly.
Food. It's the food proficiency. From time to time, I also just like to wander around my village. Have a look at all the beautiful details that this game provides. I also love how the clouds are visible. Beautiful. Since we have fish, let's continue with the upgrading of some basic shelters. These guys here. And let's also add a performance area. So this one here, where people can perform art. And this also is a demand. And more citizens are approaching me, offering the services to the settlement. We could have bakers, teachers, blacksmiths, and so on. First, though, we need to have tiles for proper roofs. Another production chain has been unlocked. So more and more buildings. For this, we need a clay pit. The clay pit, however, needs ropes. We don't have ropes yet. There it is, the stringing workshop. This, however, also needs a linen farm. So let's go ahead once again with our fertility. And yeah, let's just try to make this one here so that I still have room for another wheat farm if I want that. There you go. Plenty of room for this. And then we don't need the stringing workshop. And can we have this one here too? No, we can't. Can't. Have it here in this district. I don't have that much yet. So I like this actually because, you know, it makes for a more diverse city. So you're forced to use your medium production buildings like the tavern here, like the weaver shop. You're forced to use them in those districts, right? So it adds a very nice variety to the city. You also have this here with the performance area. And since we have quite the growth, I'm going to have another normal residential zone here. There you go. And let's also, upgrade this shelter here. Also nice, on my companion list, we can see who's not proficient yet and who's proficient. So this is for craftsmanship. Alberic was working the sawmill, so he should have a better skill at this. Let's get him in. Okay. He's still at level 1-1, right? But he should be leveling up at some point. So he's producing the ropes now out of my linen where Rowena is working. Who's also responsible for this. For this, now we should have then the ropes coming in. Let's also add another district here. And make sure that the road is respected. One of the markets is ready to develop now. That's pretty neat. We have the ropes in and we can now make a market square out of a trading plaza. And this gives me then a trade 2 bonus. Go ahead and do this. So these are upgrading buildings with a better influence radius and also attract more people. This is looking proper. You have now paved roads as well. Can't wait to also have this one here upgraded. And then we still have that shelter, but that shelter we can't replace. So this will then just be a level 3 house at some point. Now, clay pit, my next production. For this, we need to have a clay deposit close by. There's one. Is it the only one? Over here we have another one. Perfect. This would be then up there. Slope is too steep. No, not possible. Not possible. Up here. Don't want to have it too close to the city. Slope is too steep for this one here. There it is, by the river. We can place one. Also has the right slope. And after this, we just need now the tilery it was. Ooh, it needs more money than we have. We gotta wait here. and probably upgrade a few more, because we do get 5 coin for every upgrade. Gotta be careful though how many we upgrade, because they have then just more needs. Let's also have one more district here. And with that, the town center has now living space around it. 300 people, we have a bit of money too. And now we can have a tilery. And yeah, let's have it in this new district over there. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. The tilery has its own service requirements. It needs to be close to a marketplace and it needs to be close to a pharmacy. So we need to place the pharmacy first. Alright, so let's have the pharmacy over here. That will add now this district here to having health, right? And we also need to have a well close by. So I would also like to have this district here with a well. It's a very basic service that we need to provide. So even the processing buildings have demands then. Interesting. After having now our pharmacy over here, it has, by the way, a nice stone wall. We can now add, hopefully, our tilery into this district here. Oh, we also need a market. Not affected by that. We can have it here though. There you go. There's my tilery. We have then 1, 2, and 3 service buildings in here now. So I can totally see this one here becoming an artisan road or something as we're building it. And by the way, we have the room here. Let's also just add one more district. Ah, come on. There's a mountain here, so you cannot place it too close there. There's the tilery. Now we can assign one of my companions to that again. Someone that is good with construction. So Albric, as I can see, is a level 3 one already. So we should be going ahead with him. Also, production cycle is increased with him. And yeah, he's working the ropery right now, but we have plenty of ropes, I hope. Let's assign him to that.
Certainly.
What a beautiful, colorful field we have here. And there we have the tiles in. Beautiful. With that, we can now upgrade to tier 3. My houses here. That's more money that we get out of that, and more people can live in them. Yeah, let's just start with the town center. This one here wants fish with berries as a meal. That's something that we need to do extra. Wow, that looks fantastic, really. All of these level 3 ones are getting also their own stone walls. Looks way more sophisticated. There's the next one coming. Very colorful, that one. Okay, to provide the fish, we do need a tavern. Don't have that yet, so we can also have this here where we have our entertainment area. And just behind that, I would also like to go ahead with another district. We can make it a bit bigger, perhaps. And this one's bordering then to my fields already. Ooh. I'm blocking something here. This would be possible. Okay, I was probably a bit too close over here. That's fine though, as we can still squeeze in another one here. And after all this, with over 400 people and over 100 gold, we can go ahead and upgrade our town center, our village hall, to a town hall. Let's go ahead and do this. It's quite an expensive construction here. Okay, my tavern in the meantime gets its own companion now that we can add. All of them have, by the way, different storylines, right? And they're going to give you quests and stuff like that. And for now, though, we're leveling it up. So he is very good with food and he's working in the quarry right now. So Misha, Certainly. There you go. You're working where you are best, right again. Getting us fish with berries. Sounds delicious. Now, there it is. Beautiful color. And this one here can now then be upgraded to a proper city hall. This gives me another builder and another companion. For this though, we need then 600 people. Also our tier 3 people, well, they have a few more demands now. They want cut stone, they want cider, and they want clothes. With tier 3, well, things are getting even more complicated, as we can see. So those people, they have a whole bunch of different needs. Some of them also want bread, for example. Now when I check it up, we have a second row of production buildings now coming up, like the iron mine, the trapper cabin, and the forester cabin. On top of that, we got some really beautiful big buildings like the public school now that we can add then as well. And we can also build our very own castle, probably somewhere up on the hills. That's the preview gameplay for City Tales Medieval Era. I hope you enjoyed this one. Fantastic, promising game. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description to learn more about it. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm definitely going to cover this game once we see more of it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.